Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitrii Bivol for the undisputed light heavyweight championship of the world. It's here and it's coming this weekend, the 12th of October. This is a Riyadh Season Card and it's very stacked from top to bottom. So, Muhammad Alakel is making his debut. Never heard of this guy, but from the sheikhs backing him, I'm saying he's probably going to be a good fighter. I'm going to look out for this Muhammad Alakel. Then you've got boxers prize possession Ben Whittaker, 8-0 light heavyweight prospect. He's fighting a very experienced journeyman in Liam Cameron, 23-6. I'm looking out for that. And after that, it's just title fights. First, it's a WBC World Featherweight title fight in the ladies division. Sky Nicholson versus Raven Chapman. I will definitely watch and review the fight after it takes place. Then you've got Chris Eubanks Jr. against Kamil Szeremeta. Now this is going to be a very close fight. I wonder what Kamil Szeremeta's got left in the tank. It's for an IBO World Middleweight title. The IBO isn't usually fought for per se. I think Chris Eubanks Jr. is the only guy that I've known that's openly fought for the IBO and will say, I am a former IBO champion. I've never heard any other male fighter claim this title to such acclaim. But anyway, that's going to be the fourth to last fight. Then you've got Fabio Wardley against Fraser Clark for the British heavyweight title. It's a rematch. They had drew in their last fight. It's an interesting one. I'm definitely looking forward to this. It's going to be high entertainment if the first fight was anything to go by. Then you've got Jay Opataya, IBF Cruiserweight Champion. For me, I think he's the best in the Cruiserweight division. He's going to be fighting Jack Massey. He must be his number one contender, fighting for the IBF World title. And then the main event of the evening, which is the fight I'm going to talk about now, Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitrii Bivol. These two guys have history. They've known each other since they were kids in the game. They were on the same Russian national team as amateurs. Beterbiev turned pro before Bivol, but they were both there for a long time. And Bivol is 6 years younger than Beterbiev. This time in their lives, 6-year difference is a lot. They were supposed to have this fight many times over the years. Even though it was always going to be a great fight, with these guys' lack of personality per se, and the ability to sell the fight to the masses by throwing their mouths around, I can do this and I'm going to do this to you and I'm going to do that to you and you're shit and you don't like, you're rubbish, you can't fight, all of this crap. They do their talking in the ring and they knock man out. For instance, Artur Beterbiev has got 20 fights, 20 knockouts, right? And he's unified WBC, WBO, IBF champion, where Bivol has got the WBA title. And with this being said, this is undisputed. And as I said, Artur Beterbiev has got a 100% knockout ratio. He's fought 20 man and he's knocked out all 20 man, winning titles along the way. So he's fought the best of the best at light heavyweight and he's knocked everybody out. These times Dmitrii Bivol has got 23 fights with 12 knockouts. He's more cerebral, he's not as heavy-handed. There has been some terrible stories about Artur Beterbiev and his power and how he knocks out. Listen, in training sessions, apparently, when he's sparring, they can't even do 3-minute rounds. They have to do 1.5 minutes because he's hurting everybody with 18-ounce gloves. He's hurt everybody. Apparently, this is the stories. I've heard some crazy stories. The betting favourite is Artur Beterbiev, I'm sure. I haven't looked at the odds and seen who's the betting favourite. But for me, I don't think he wins. I really think Dmitrii Bivol wins this fight, and I'll tell you why. This fight was supposed to happen in June. This was supposed to be the main event of that 5 versus 5 Queensberry versus Matchroom card. But Artur Beterbiev had to pull out injured. I think he pulled or teared a muscle in his bicep, or he busted his knee. Bivol ended up having a late replacement fight with a guy called Malik Zanid, who he ended up stopping in 6 rounds. And before that, they were supposed to fight on that Christmas card that the Sheikh put together. Wilder lost to Parker, Anthony Joshua beat Otto Wallin, remember that Dubois beat Jarrell Baby Miller. Beterbiev pulled out of that fight with an injury as well. And Bivol had to have a replacement fight where he won a unanimous decision against Lyndon Arthur. He's had so many different injuries over the years. This is why he hasn't made this fight as well, because of the amount of injuries he's had. This fight weren't going to get made, to be fair, because the money weren't there in the first place. But because the Sheikh is such an avid boxing fan and he knows about boxing to the point where he knows about these two guys and the need for them two to have this title fight, he's thrown the money at it and made it happen. And since he's thrown the money at it and made it happen, it's like everybody wants to know about it now. But before the Sheikh came, no one wanted to know about this fight. As I said, these two guys ain't talkative guys, ain't Twitter finger guys, ain't guys that's gonna say, I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna all of this type of stuff. They're very respectable and they're very to themselves type guys. They don't talk. Their fists do their talking, and that's how they are. And every one of their fights are exciting fights. But people don't tune in the masses because they're not popular, because they're not out here trying to sell themselves on social media and such things. And I've seen how the careers of these guys have gone since they've turned pro, and the amount of injuries I've seen Beterbiev had. I'm sure he ripped a bicep muscle, hurt a knee, hurt an ankle. He's had all these different injuries and had to pull out of fights. Now, the other story, the way people are looking at it is he may have deemed himself injured and pulled out of fights because he hadn't had enough time to cycle off of any illegal drugs that he had been taking. Now, I don't personally believe that's the case, or I don't really care about that type of stuff, neither here nor there to me, but that's what's going on in the boxing world. They think that he's taking time off or pulling out of fights, saying that he's injured so that he can properly cycle off any drugs that he may have taken. Now, nothing's come out to say that he's taken any drugs. This is just people speculating because that's all they want to do. They just want to find some way to throw shade over anyone. At the same time, if the injuries are correct, which he's shown receipts for, then I just think he's been weakened, or he's just at the end of his tether in the situation. 39 is old in boxing. He's 39 and Bivol is 33. Bivol has very sneaky defense that is not rated. So I don't see him getting caught flush by the punches thrown by Artur or Beterbiev. He's already stated, I don't want to feel this guy's power. I don't want to be out here trying to test out this guy's power and all of this type of stuff. And I'm like, you're damn right, my guy. You don't want to be doing that. Good on you. Well said. Because differently, you come out here trying to feel this guy's power, you're going to get knocked out. That's the quickest way to get stopped in this situation. So I'm going to say I picked Dmitrii Bivol to win. To say he's going to win by knockout, it's hard to say. Because at the same time as Artur Beterbiev has been knocking out everyone in front of him, I haven't seen him, other than Callum Johnson, who dropped him, I haven't seen him really take any shots per se. And the fact that Callum Johnson dropped him leads me to believe that if Callum Johnson can drop him, and that was a while ago, when he was a lot younger and less injuries, if Callum Johnson can drop him, then I'm sure that Dmitrii Bivol can get through with a good enough amount of shots to keep this guy honest and to make him think twice about the shots that he's throwing. As I said, they've known each other from their amateur days. They were in the same Russian amateur team. That leads me to believe that they've actually at least sparred. If they haven't had bouts, they've at least sparred. So they know each other to some sort of extent. And if Bivol can make sure that he doesn't get really tagged full-on flush with these shots coming from Artur Beterbiev, I think that he can score a points victory at the very least. And to be fair to you, lately I've seen him start put his foot down on the pedal and really try to get these guys out of there. So if he carries that mentality into this fight, that's going to cause a very exciting fight. And that could then make the fight swing either way. He could easily get knocked out just by throwing too many punches, or Bivol punching him, Beterbiev punching in between the punches, which can lead to knockouts. So this is a very exciting fight. The 12th of October, Saturday coming. I will see you guys in... I'm predicting, let me just put it out there, properly put it out there. Bivol to win, right? I'm saying on points, and I'm saying I'm not surprised if he knocks him out. I take that to the bank. I haven't been doing well with my predictions lately, but who cares? At least I'm bold enough to make a prediction, either which way. I'm not sitting on the fence. I'm going to put myself out there and say, this is who I think is going to win, and this is how they're going to win. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video.